Thank you, Senator. Thank you all for being here. Hello, Northern Dutchess Dems. I am so thrilled that there is a Northern Dutchess Dems. After 30 years in Millbrook and now another 8 years in Columbia County, this was an area of such important work, so many important and wonderful people, but your voices were being lost in the mix of so many other things going on. So I am so proud of all of you for coming together, pulling your towns together, and recognizing how important it is that the voices of our small and rural and really special democratic communities need to be heard, and doing this together is the way to do it. I also want to thank all of you for your support in our very, very nasty primary that we got through just exactly 1 month ago. That was a campaign that I never would have imagined, since, as you probably remember, I was the first Democrat ever elected from this region to New York State government, ever. And so here we were in a primary. It was nasty, it was full of lies, and it prepares us for what's ahead, right? We know what the Republicans are going to do, because for some reason this group took the same playbook, and we're ready for it, because as the senator said, this is going to be a tough and divisive race. We're already seeing from the Republican convention what the language and what the talking points are, and we're going to see it here locally, because we've got really important congressional races all up and down the Hudson Valley. We have outstanding candidates. We have a great grassroots network of people, and we have amazing communities that over and over again have come up and shown that Democrats can win. I'm really thrilled to share with you, I don't know how many of you know, but just this week we had our Assembly Speaker, Carl Hastie, in the town of Northeast to announce full funding for a new pool at the Eddie Collins Memorial Park. This is something that the community there has been working on for a very long time, and bringing our speaker to see the park, to understand how this was really prioritizing accessibility for everybody. Our office was able to fund a ramp and the bleachers that were totally accessible for people in wheelchairs, for people with strollers, for people with walkers, to be able to sit and watch their children and their grandchildren and their nieces and their nephews play sports. And now the same thing will happen with a swimming pool. Too many kids in our country and in our state don't know how to swim. And that's because we don't have the public pools that were part of many of our childhoods growing up in other parts of the state and in this region as well. And it's just so important that we arm our kids with skills to be safe and to be able to enjoy summer and be able to enjoy physical activity. And this week with the Olympics going on, obviously there's an opportunity for incredible inspiration, but kids have to be able to see a place where they can learn how to swim in order to be able to have that dream. And then that's part of what we really want to do with this pool in the town of Northeast. We continue to really work hard with all of our communities in the Hudson Valley. My district goes from the town of Poughkeepsie all the way up to New Lebanon. It's a big district, and it's a diverse district. But it's really essential that we hear what's on your mind, and that we know where your head is and what you're concerned about. During this primary, we rang so many doors. For 6 months, we were ringing doors from January till the end of June. And over, we heard concern about the divisiveness, about the nasty languages. People were discouraged. This week is a good week to be a Democrat. Wasn't feeling that way. It was a very good week. And President Biden showed us truly what public service is all about. Every time somebody says to me, oh, well, politicians like you, I cringe, because personally I do not ever and have never thought of myself as a politician. What I do is public service. What I'm committed to, why I ran, why I run again, why I'm running again, is all about serving this really beautiful and special part of the Hudson Valley, this really beautiful and special part of New York State. And I'm doing it because I care for, not just for me and the people currently living here, but for future generations and for our planet Earth and for this really beautiful and special place that we're also privileged to live in. But it really is going to take everybody working alongside each other to get us reelected, to get me reelected, to get Senator Hinchey reelected, to make sure that Pat Ryan is reelected, and to make Hakeem Jeffries, New York's own Hakeem Jeffries, the Speaker of the U.S. Congress. We can do that. So there's lots of work ahead, and I know you all know how to do it. I want to remind you of the ERA. That's a critical piece of what's on the ballot in November. Make sure you tell everyone to turn the ballot over, because that will codify not only women's reproductive rights, but LGBTQ rights and the ability of people with disabilities to have rights. I mean, this is really a fundamental codification of rights that we all care very much about and that we've probably all fought for all our lifetimes. So thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. I know we're going to see each other again more as this campaign continues. Enjoy this beautiful summer weekend in our amazing Hudson Valley region. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Emily Lyons, who's going to speak on behalf of our fantastic Congressman Pat Ryan.